Hey everyone, this is Brett Favre, Green Bay Packers Super Bowl champion. And you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packers content. Go Packers.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us, 865-658-5824. We got a full house tonight. We got Emilio in Tennessee. We got Jacob in Wisconsin. We got Carly in Wisconsin. And, of course, we've got Tim in Green Bay, ready to talk some Packers-Eagles as we are well under 24 hours away from kickoff here. Packers-Eagles facing off in Philly. Going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We just watched the Houston Texans absolutely annihilate the Chargers, which I'm sitting here thinking, okay, we beat the Texans and they're boat racing other playoff teams. That's kind of a good place to be, right? If you want to look at it that way. But how's everybody doing this season?
Doing good, man. Glad to be here. Hopefully we don't perform the way the Chargers did tonight, tomorrow, because that was a fast start for the Chargers, and then they just imploded, man. It was tough to watch there for a minute.
Yeah. And getting off to the fast start, Tim, kind of, killed the crowd a little bit, got them to settle down. They got their feet under them, and then still you lose it in the end.
Yep.
No doubt about it. All right, we had a question from a listener who shot me a text. This is King Tron. Said, "Hey, brother, it's King Tron. I'm not really sure how this works as far as time frame. I don't want to keep you up or wake you up. I missed the show tonight, but my question for the next show to you was, is the Eagles team superior over the Cowboys team we embarrassed last year, or no? Go Pack, go, buddy, as always. Thank you." So pretty much the question is pretty straightforward from King Tron. Do you think that this Eagles team is better than the Cowboys team last year that we obviously went into Dallas and just boat raced? For me, I think it's all about how the teams are built, and this Eagles team is built way more balanced than that Cowboys team was. The Cowboys team was kind of built to throw, and they were built to rush the passer as well. So if a team gets up on them early, it's a little bit easier for them to extend the lead as opposed to a team trying to play from behind and Micah Parsons and Lawrence and all those guys, obviously getting after the quarterback. But how do you guys feel about that? Because I think it's a good question to kind of wonder, okay, which team is better built? And again, it feels like it was a lifetime ago last year, right? But we'll start with you, Emilio. We'll just go clockwise here. What do you think, man, about that question?
Yeah, I think that this Eagles team definitely is built a little bit better. I do think that the offense kind of had threats like Cowboys do, but I think those trenches are just a lot more solid than where the Cowboys were, and I think that we've seen them at least and it's a repeat game, so I think that might help us out a little bit. We kind of know some tendencies where they're going, how they've gotten better, but. Yeah, that's I would say Eagles for sure.
Jake?
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. Like somebody said in the chat, I just think they're clearly a more well-rounded team, better defense, better clock management, like Joseph Reel says. And then like last year, if you shut down CeeDee Lamb and Dak, that was it. The whole team kind of fell apart. Nobody was worried about Rico Dowdle or whoever the heck they had back there. So if that being said, I think the Eagles are a whole different beast. I don't expect them to lay down and choke on it like the Cowboys did.
Yep, I would agree. I'm going to go with the Eagles being the better of the team. And, Jacob mentions a better defense, which is true, but better offense too, in my opinion. There's a hell of a lot more you have to shut down on that Eagles offense than just their quarterback and their running back. So I would give the edge to the Eagles for sure.
All right.
I would say the same thing, especially like with their O-line. I feel like is doing so much better than last year. Whatever team we're comparing them to, I don't even remember who we were talking about now. But no, my decision. Yeah, I feel like the defense and the O-line. Like when you have a good O-line that set everything up, and I think they're definitely got the edge this year on that one.
Yeah, outside of Micah Parsons, I mean, the Eagles are way better built in the trenches on both sides of the ball. There's no two ways about that. Joseph in the chat got a great question here. Has Bullard shown enough to make us shy away from a top 100 pick who projects primarily as a slot corner? I think that's a good question because I feel like Bullard has played much better in the slot than he has the safety position. However, I don't know if it's quite to the point where I'm like, yep, we don't need a slot corner now. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Who's the backup slot, right? That's Keyshawn Nixon. So if Keyshawn's going to play outside and Bullard's going to play in the slot, if Bullard goes out with an injury, let's say we just stick with the DBs we got next year, then Keyshawn's going to have to kick to the slot, and now you've got to go to your backup. The question for me keeps coming back to Jair Alexander. Is Jair Alexander going to be on this team next year? If Jair is going to be on the team next year, I feel pretty good about what we got, because that means if for some reason Bullard gets banged up and Keyshawn goes to the slot, now you got Carrington playing on the outside. I'm fine with that. You guys know how I feel about Carrington Valentine. We'll hit on it here in a minute as well, but let's go around the horn with that one. We'll go reverse this time. Carly, are you okay with Javon Bullard in the slot next year, or do you think we need to try to go out and draft one here?
I want to draft an O-line player first.
Okay.
But then I would consider taking a slot. I don't feel like I've seen enough of Javon Bullard to know, but I also don't think Alexander is going to be here next year. I really don't see that happening. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Got it. Tim?
My answer is yes to both. I trust Bullard in the slot. I think he's probably the slot of the future. I think that's his best suited position on the field, at least based on what we've seen on tape this year. And I think we still need to get a slot corner. I agree with both. I think Keyshawn has been a pleasant surprise on the boundary. And, assuming Eric Stokes is gone next year as well, I think that, I feel good about Keyshawn and CV on the boundary, whether or not Ja's on the field or not. And then when it comes to the slot, we've got Bullard and then no other option other than Keyshawn. So if we don't want to play musical chairs at corner forever, then I think slot is the first place we should start when we're talking about drafting a corner.
Got it.
Yeah, what I would do is kind of like Tim said, yes and yes. Yes, I'd like that Bullard shown a little bit towards the end of the season, but no, I'm not comfortable with him just being that way. I would take a cornerback, whether that be a slot or an outside, more of a lockdown corner, CB1. I'd take one in at least the first 3 rounds, and I'd actually take maybe 1 or 2 stabs at it throughout the rest of the draft. We got to keep that perpetual motion of guys that we want to draft and we don't need them. It's kind of like the quarterback situation. If we have an opportunity where, like this year, we thought going into the year that it was going to be our biggest glaring need, and it turned out being like a weird strength of our team. So I want to keep that coming.
I will probably pass on taking a corner in the top 100. I like Bull in the slot, man. You remember what he did to AJ Brown in the first game. So the dude's a thumper. I think that we kind of need that on this defense if we're going to be playing, nickel a lot. Him coming downhill is going to be huge. I think he can work on his coverage. We can, get him into better shape. Remember, he's still young, a lot on his mind kind of thing. But I would stay away from that. I think we need to throw 3 picks in the trenches before we go anywhere else this draft.
It's funny too, because like every year someone is labeled as the president of that player's fan club. Emilio has soared to the top of the rankings for Javon Bullard's #1 fan.
I think there's a lot of hate that gets put on the kid. I think there's a lot on his mind, and he's asked to do a lot for this team. So I'm not mad at his performance for a rookie at all.
Thick.
He is. Hey, that's who he was talking about when he made that comment, right? Mike Hebring in the chat. Any position groups you would put the Packers over the Eagles at? Let's think about that. Let's go position by position. If you had to start a franchise today, would you take Jalen Hurts or Jordan Love? And I don't want to spoil it with my answer. Everybody rapid fire, just go. We'll go clockwise on every one of these answers. Go, Emilio.
Love.
Hurts.
Jay freaking Money.
You would say some stuff like that, Jacob.
I'm a homer all the way. J Love, let's go.
I got to be honest.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, for me, I think it's probably Jordan Love just based off of what people have said. Former GMs, the way they talk about the arm talent. He now is, the arm strength is just unbelievable. 61 mile an hour, the fastest clocked in the next-gen era. Jalen Hurts has not really impressed me that much with the passing game this year. Now, his dual threatness, really, really impressive. Obviously, that's what makes him so valuable, much like Josh Allen, right? But, for me, I think it's close, but I would take Jordan Love. Let's say running back, Saquon Barkley, or would you go with Josh Jacobs? That's tough. Whoever wants to go first, I don't care.
Taking Josh. Because I'm a homer. That's the only reason.
I'll go. You gotta pick Saquon. Josh Jacobs would be my second in the whole league, but I mean,
yeah, I'd probably say Josh, even though Saquon's close. Just I don't know, injuries and stuff like that. I like the way Jacobs runs.
All right, Carla.
Saquon's he's just been such a powerhouse and such a game changer. And I really like how he plays.
Yeah, I'm taking Saquon. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I love Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a dog, but man, Saquon is, to me, he's the best back in the league this year. It truly feels that way. Wide receiver core. Would you rather take our wide receivers or theirs? If you're not real familiar with their wide receiver core, A.J. Brown, I think he's great now as the third best receiver in the league. Devonta Smith, obviously a great slot receiver there as well. I think they still got Dallas Goedert at tight end. Go ahead, Emilio. You start this one. Carly already said she's taking Packers. So.
Probably have to take the Eagles there, but I'm not mad at the young group that we have ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'd actually go Packers. If you could include the tight ends, I'd go Packers just because Devontae Smith has been more of a decoy, and the guy they brought in from Washington has done nothing. What's his name? I can't remember his name anymore.
Right?
That's how bad
Jahan Dotson, yeah. And I mean, yeah, they got Goddard, but I think our receiving core is better. I'll be honest.
I agree. I think to Jacob's point, when you factor in the tight end room, we'll take Tucker Kraft, Ben Sims, Musgrave. We add those guys into the mix with Reed and Bo and Wicks and Romeo and the boys. I'm gonna go with the Packers on this one.
All right. Yeah, I think it's close, but if everyone's healthy, I think I've got to go with the Eagles there. Be real. Let's go trenches. Let's group them all together, offensive and defensive line. Packers have one of the best pass blocking offensive lines in the league, right? Boy, oh boy, can that Eagles offensive line run block. And then, of course, they've got one of the best defensive lines in the game. I'm being real. Got to go with the Eagles here. So far, the only one I've chose is Jay Love over Jalen Hurts. That's pretty wild. Go ahead, Carly. What are you thinking? O-line and D-line combined together there.
I got to go with the Eagles. They're rocking it there. Yeah, we've got great pass blockers, but I really feel like the run game is where it's at this season with everybody. And when you can't stop the run, you can't stop anything. So I'd go with them.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that one person, Jalen Carter alone, could kind of sway this debate just because
Right.
that man controls the line of scrimmage. It doesn't matter who's there. I mean, he's just a freak. And everybody else just is big time thumpers. They're big and they're fast.
Got to be the Eagles.
Yeah. Are we saying just O-line here, or are we talking both?
Conglomerate.
I put them both together, yeah.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, probably the Eagles, but maybe split it, right? I'd probably give them the advantage on the D-line, but I like our boys on the O-line. We got a bright future, for some of these pieces here, and they've been playing pretty well lately. I think once we figure out center, things are really going to advance moving forward. So I'd probably be split on those two.
Got it. So you're taking offensive line for the Packers, defensive line for the Eagles, correct?
Yep.
Yes. Amelia, what about you? Did you already go?
Yeah, no, I said Eagles for both, but we're getting there. That's why I think we need
real
to
quick
those first three.
Emilio, Tim, are people going to jump down my throat this year when I suggest drafting a center in the first round?
No, I said.
They almost burned my house down when I suggested that last year.
No, I think the first three picks got to go to the trenches. Offense and defense doesn't matter where.
Yeah, 3 tech into center. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Jordan Morgan to see what he can do, but I think we still got to pull some triggers down there.
I agree.
Right. There you go. Let's go linebackers, man. How we feeling about linebacker core? Let's just keep it an inside linebacker within the nickel room, right? So let's say, Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker versus Zach Bond and who is the other one? Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean.
Yeah. That's
Tie.
tough.
You can't remember his name. You can't remember his name. That answers it for us.
Yeah.
Packers all the way.
One Georgia guy each. It's a tie.
It's a tie. It's fair. It's evenly matched. It is a tie.
Amelia, that's a tough linebacking core they got there too. Zach Bond, what is he? He's the highest graded linebacker in the league this year.
Yeah, and his coverage is just out of hand too. So
first team All Pro too.
Yeah. That he's having a great year. If you take Zach Bond any other year, I would say our linebacker core right now this year, I think I got to take theirs. And I just want a healthy linebacker core for us to get out there, really.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. For me, I got to go Eagles. I do. Just a little too inexperienced for the Packers. To me, you guys know how I feel about Quay. I don't think he's lived up to the first-round hype, personally. And it seems like Nakobe Dean and both Zach Bond are having great years this year. DB room. Which one? What are we thinking here? You got to think on their part. I mean, we could pull up the PFF grades. My God, man, every one of them were in the green, right? Cooper DeJean, I think the third highest graded corner in the league. He plays slot. Their weakest spot, I want to say, was in the 50s, maybe the 60s, opposite of I'm trying to remember the corner on the outside next to that would cover the Z. I can't remember. But
Quinyon
Mitchell. There you go. Yeah. I mean, basically, if you took their top two corners against our top two corners, right? Who would our top two corners be? Most people would say it's Keyshawn Nixon and Jair Alexander when Jair is healthy, right? Now, if we're strictly talking about this game, and I think that's why Mike asked this question, you got to go without Jair. So it's Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon, probably our top two corners, right, that are healthy, against Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. Man, I'd have to go Eagles there too. I hate this. This sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree. I think can we break it down between safeties and corners? The corner room?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, then
we got the safety room. Baby.
I'll take the safety room, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I like that, Jacob. Safety, they can have corner. We'll take safety. That's all right.
I'm riding with Keyshawn and CV, man. The hell with y'all. Let's go. Packers, baby. Corners and safety. Let's go.
I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, so that's enough of that. Kicker, let's do that.
Yeah, and Drew D also better coaches.
Drew, I want to agree with you, but Nick Sirianni has a better winning percentage.
Shut up, Clayton. God.
I'm just saying, like when you really dive into this Eagles team, pretty wild. It's pretty wild. That's why it's going to make it so much fun when the Packers kick their ass tomorrow. Nobody expects it. That's going to be
all right. Clayton, can I tell you why, though, I really think that we have the edge?
Yeah.
I want to turn it all around. Is that the Eagles, like their vibes, like think of last year to this year and the way that they just like bid it at the end of the season last year. Like I feel like their vibes, they just turn on a dime. And I think if we can just punch them in the mouth right away, knock a few of their teeth out, I think they're going to fold. I just don't think they have the cohesiveness and the grit that the Packers have.
Ooh, I like it.
I'll
tell you this. If something does happen in that first quarter, that things go awry for the Eagles, watch how quick that crowd turns on them.
Yep.
Trust me, the Boo Birds will be out.
Right. Watch AJ Brown get frustrated with Sirianni or something, or with Hurts.
Yep.
Watch them if they have a little rift within that first quarter.
These guys haven't played football in a couple of weeks. Let's remember that too. They rested their starters. You got guys coming back from injury. I agree. You want to try and play this game from ahead, even if it's, by one score. You don't want to be playing catch up against the Eagles at all.
Yeah. And United Bates makes a great point here, man. If this is going to be a close game, Elliott struggled this year. I think he's 1 of 7 for field goals 50 yards or more.
Chris C just said their kicker is horrible after the 50 this year.
So McMoney wins this one for sure. We got the kicker advantage.
There you go. I like what you said there, though, Carly. Like I said, if something goes wrong for the Eagles early, that crowd is going to get nasty. And what Jacob said about AJ Brown. AJ Brown's a little banged up too. I won't use the word that Ron used, but yes, he is. He's struggling a little bit right now with the bad knee, right? So it's 2025. I don't know what's appropriate or what's not appropriate nowadays. We can say. I mean. It is what – look at Jacob said. Just say it. Nah, we're not going to do it, all right? If you don't know the answer to the question, it's kind of like when you have to ask the price of something. If you have to ask the price, you can't afford it, okay? That's the way that works.
Yeah.
So if you don't know if the word's allowed or not, Jacob, we don't say it, right?
All right. I'm not going to, so quit asking.
All right, there you go. Let's go to Twitter real quick. Did you guys see this? With Caleb Williams. Is this real?
I was going to say, I haven't been able to prove that it's not.
I mean, it doesn't seem that unbelievable, right?
Right, I'm going to play this, and I'd love to give credit to whoever's video it is. ML Football's the one that tweeted it out. So if you guys know whose video it is, shout them out. Definitely want to give credit where credit's due. I think there's a tag floating around because it might have been a TikTok video. But some random guy convince Chicago Bears quarterback is what it's supposed to say, Caleb Williams, that he's Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, and he accepted the Bears job. Caleb responded and even answered the FaceTime. Have you seen this, Emilio?
I did actually, and I was trying to figure out. At the very end they said they like the nails, so I'm not sure if that's if that was yeah. There you go, those nails.
Let's see. Let's play it here for everybody real quick, okay? And I don't want to go full screen here because I want it to be known on YouTube that we're sharing my Twitter page to play this video from ML Football's tweet. Don't want anybody bitching, moaning, crying about it. Hey, don't my video. So here we go, okay? Whoever's it is, thank you for posting it, okay? There's your cookie for the day. Here we go. So there you see the text thread, right? And I'll read it to you. It says, hey, Caleb, this is Ben Johnson. Just wanted to reach out ahead of time before it gets released to the media. I will be taking the head coaching job. Very excited to work with you in the future. Great things. Actually, Ben, he said, yes, I wanted to be the first to know. I wanted you to be the first to know. We will talk more as the season winds down. He said, okay, cool. Sounds good. I'm definitely excited for the future. Let's get this poopy going and turn it around and do what hasn't been done in years. In the meantime, effing go kill. We'll talk soon. And then here is the FaceTime.
Oh my God. You got it?
Yeah.
Hey, Caleb, it's me, Ben Johnson.
Come to the Dolphins, bro.
No, shut up. Hey, you're a great QB, but I'm so glad that you're going to get a new head coach. I don't know if it's Ben Johnson, but I'm sorry about this.
All good. Peace out.
Hey, the nails are tough.
You're going to go, bro. You're going to go.
No way.
So, again, nobody has confirmed that it wasn't real. I don't know, Jake.
Can we confirm who the hell leaked Caleb Williams' cell phone number?
That's the thing, too. Like, I mean, crazier things
Probably
have
the nail salon.
There it is.
Yeah, I really have no idea how you would work something like that, but that's why. I mean, you can't trust it. And the fact that Caleb called him, I mean, that dude was answering the FaceTime call. It wasn't like he was calling out to him. So,
the point. Anyway, there you go. All right. All it tells me is if it is real, then the Chicago Bears quarterback has even less awareness than we thought he did, right? So I'm just going to leave that there. Another tweet that went out today, Rob Demoski. The Packers have signed quarterback Sean Clifford from the practice squad to the active roster. Green Bay had an open roster spot. This doesn't mean anything has changed with Jordan Love's status. Now, the tweet that I put out, I was just simply saying I think it's a backup plan to the backup plan because, Malik Willis banged up his thumb. Let's say that Malik Willis feels okay. He can go. And then, if for some reason Jordan Love gets banged up, right, and he goes out of the game, Malik Willis comes in, he throws 8 passes and the thumb starts aggravating him. What are you going to do if you don't have that emergency quarterback, right? You're screwed. So do you guys read anything any deeper to this? Like maybe Malik Willis won't be able to go, even though he is active. What do you guys think about this?
All I'd read into it is they don't want Josh Myers to play quarterback.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that, actually. That would look like my boy Jared Lorenzen back.
Oh, yeah.
I think Reed is the emergency, isn't he? Isn't Jaden Reed the emergency?
Pretty
backup,
sure, yeah.
Backup, kind of.
That would be kind of.
Back up to the backing up.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me though. I said this in the post game after the Bears game that it wouldn't shock me that we have 3 quarterbacks going into Philly just because of the question marks with Malik and Jordan. But I do think they're both good to go. Luckily, Jordan Love's looked a little more scary than it was, but I'm actually probably more concerned about Malik with that throwing hand. But I think it's a good move having an open spot. Like, might as well activate the big red dog, right? Let him get loose just in case. It's win or go home, right? You got to throw everything in the kitchen sink, at your opponent every week. So if 3 quarterbacks dressed tomorrow is what gets us a win, then let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, and it's not like he hasn't been there all year, right? I mean, he's still with them on the sideline all the time, talking to him, knowing all the play calls, all that. I mean, you wouldn't want anyone else in there, so bring him up, let him be ready as a backup. Work on the holding just in case you got to go out there and hold a field goal, something like that.
Yep, and we know Clifford can sling it. He's got an arm too, man. So we don't have to worry too much about him throwing the ball if all hell broke loose and he actually had to play.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I did mention this earlier in the Texans game. I don't know if you guys watched the whole thing or not, but right before halftime, it was actually 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put a tweet. I said, could you imagine the Twitter meltdown of Packers if the Packers were one of these two teams, either scoring only 6 points or 0 with 1 minute left in the second quarter? This entire app would be on fire. Am I wrong for thinking that? Could you imagine how the fans would be? Oh my God, man!
No, it's so true.
Yeah.
So can you imagine how mad the fan base would be if we beat them 6-0 and that was the final score?
Right.
We would just hear about how we only had 2 field goals.
Yep.
I think too. That's why certain types of fans should look at that and really, really absorb that, because with 2 minutes left in the second quarter, you could be sitting there being like, "Oops, I hate this team. It's the worst," and you end up winning by 30 some odd points. Like,
Yeah.
There's a second half for a reason, guys.
Yeah.
And we are stellar in the second half, Jacob.
Yes, we
Stellar.
are, Emilio. Finish strong, right?
Yeah.
All right. Another tweet that went out. Green Bay Packers says popcorn ready when Josh is running. A quote from Adam Stenovich, the OC in Green Bay. It always starts up front, but Josh is kind of the one that everyone rallies around. He makes those plays and breaking those tackles. It's been fun to watch. What if Josh Jacobs comes out tomorrow? And by the way, I have a couple of recibos on Twitter where Eagles fans are basically saying, Josh Jacobs, I just got through watching the tape, and Josh Jacobs really isn't that good.
Idiots.
As a matter of fact, it might be up here. We'll come back to that. There it is right there. Yeah, this one right here. We'll come back to the Carrington Valentine one right here. I'm not so sure. I just watched the last 5 Packers games, and Jacobs is not a good back. Maybe it's his O-line. Maybe it's not, but he's not good.
You're a liar, because one of those 5 games was Seattle. That was the Seattle game. We all remember that. So
You're a liar.
You clearly did not watch the last 5 games.
Clayton saw that, said, really?
I just went ahead, just a little note emoji, right? We'll just jot that down for tomorrow, just in case we shock the world, and we'll revisit that, right? That was Drew from Philly. Shout out to Drew. All right. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add to that? That blew my socks off. I'm like, man.
I don't know. Last 5 Packers games, we lost 2 of them, so he probably got a good look at what we don't need to be doing. And he didn't say anything about Emmanuel Wilson, who quietly had 500 yards this season. So
Yep.
let's not count him out, man. And Brooks doing all the dirty work in there.
Yep. Not.
I like what Drew D just said. Drew D in the chat just said, for the record, I'm not from Philly. Just so we know it's not him.
Drew said, I know what Drew was thinking right there, Tim. You're probably thinking the same thing I am. I'll hit it for you there, man.
Don't put that name in my mouth right there.
Yes. All right, going back to Carrington Valentine, I thought this was pretty cool. Mike Row X on Twitter, or at Neuro_Mike, says CV is going to go crazy on Sunday. Check this out, guys. This blew me away. Carrington Valentine, the only Packers cornerback over the last 11 years to play 250-plus coverage snaps and not allow a touchdown.
Wow.
11 years. And again, this kind of goes hand in hand with the lockdown percentage, the new metric that PFF came up with, right? Really cool there. And okay, that's great, but he never gets interceptions. No, he had 2 in the last, 4 games, whatever it is. So he's taking the ball away, right? He's playing lockdown coverage. This last game, we seen him force a fumble. Like, I don't know what else the kid can do before people go, damn, we got a good cornerback. This guy's solid, right? He's grading out as one of the top corners as well. Yeah, well within the top 32, according to PFF. So what do you guys think about that? Does that shock anybody else? I mean, it really did took me off guard a little bit. And I've been spearheading this whole Carrington Valentine's way better than people were giving him credit for this year.
You
Okay, I have a question.
dirty dog. Hold on now, Clayton.
What's that?
You're saying that you're on the CV bandwagon this year? That's what you're saying?
Tim, you want to vouch for me here?
We've been talking about CV for the better
About
part of the last month or so.
Yeah. About the last 7 weeks, I'm going, boys, CV shut me the hell up. This boy playing good ball. Passer rating
all
with
right.
target.
That's what I was going to say. I did take a hiatus. So when I left, it was still Clayton. I could not believe, because it was for the once in my life I heard him talking negative about a Kentucky boy.
Yeah.
I was like, what
But
is happening?
here's the question. You guys, stats they can paint a picture, but is it because Carrington Valentine has not been covering the, the number one receivers. Like, how many times has he been targeted? That's the real question.
Yeah, that's
not to be Debbie Down or anything.
No, that's simply not true, though. We don't play a defense where one corner covers the number one receiver.
Okay.
That's not our defense.
All right.
Yet.
No, that's good.
And it's many people said that, Carly, and I'm going for they're not watching the game, obviously. So,
or they don't understand the game at quite the higher level that you do.
Yep. So with Carrington, like the interception, both of those interceptions too, he broke off his assignment and made a break on the ball to pick it off. It wasn't even like, hey, this is the guy I'm covering. It was, I got my guy taken care of. You know what? Let me go snatch this ball out of the air that so-and-so is supposed to be covering right now.
He picked that up with the jaw, right? The freelancing.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah.
But what's cool is he took care of his assignment.
Yeah.
Did it. Yeah. When Ja did it in week 1 against Philly, his guy was running butt naked on an out. Thank God Jalen Hurts didn't have two brain cells to rub together to go, oh, he's running in the opposite direction. Let me throw to his guys. So he threw right in his lap. But
I know it's kind of
on that Mabel look was what I was impressed.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's kind of stupid or like one of those things that you can't really measure, but I swear when I saw him do that first mic'd up, it changed my whole perspective of what he was. Because to kind of Clayton's point, I did think that he was more of kind of that 7th round, hopeful, just lucky to be here guy. Just, every day he comes in and the game's too big for him. And then you see him mic'd up and you're like, oh no, this dude's a dog and he's kind of like aggressive. And if anything, he's maybe a little too cocky, but I love it. I mean, it totally made me completely change my perspective of what he brings to the table. And he's one of those guys where I want him out there. Can you imagine him and Keyshawn Nixon and Ja on the same like secondary and they're just jawing at you and you're like, I think that's one of the times I'd be like, ref, come on, stop. Make him stop.
Make him stop.
You don't say that.
You don't say that. We need that sound drop too. Tim, you got anything else to add to the Carrington Valentine talk? Man, I'm excited about this dude. It's like I said, this year he was very limited on the snaps. And you guys know I was overly critical of Stokes. And I'm like, man, just give Valentine a shot here. My God, Stokes is struggling bad, right? We talked about, that stat that was just like he hadn't got his hand on the ball and however many snaps it was like a new NFL record or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, give Carrington a shot. And then they give him a shot. And I'm like, boy, I didn't expect this. I was just saying that because Stokes was having such a cold streak. But I don't know, Tim. He seems like he's on track to be a number 1 corner, man. This is wild from a 7th round pick.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a little bits and pieces of flashes during his rookie season. And then, we were kind of scratching our head this year. I mean, as hard as Stokes worked to get back out there, I thought they were going to give CV a shot a lot sooner in the season than they did. But, unfortunately, it's crazy how, injuries can all of a sudden, give you a shot, right? You hate to see your teammate go down, but Jair not being in the mix has really allowed for the emergence of Valentine. And yeah, man, he is slowly becoming a star right now. And I'm all for it, man. I was excited as hell when we drafted him. You can see the kind of energy he brings to the team. And he does, like Bates was saying there in the chat, he kind of has Jair type of vibes. He brings the energy, keeps the guys loose, always has fun, and is super talented. Like you said, for a 7th rounder, he's an absolute steal. And another one that makes Goody look like a genius for sure.
Yeah, a dude you probably want to sit next to on the bus ride to the game. Just
Yep.
laughing around, goofing around, but serious ready to go. Ready to ball. Someone that's probably going to break down a huddle kind of thing. And you just love that energy.
Yeah, Joseph in the chat, Goody digging for the late round gold again. Yes, he is, and Drew D making a great point. Getting Nixon and Valentine on the outside has been huge, man. I did not expect Keyshawn Nixon to be so effective on the outside. I thought for sure with the way that he plays football and specifically the return game, he's kind of built for the slot. He kind of plays in those tight quarters, has good lateral movement, those type of things. He isn't afraid of contact. He plays the game kind of fearlessly. But boy, oh boy, on the outside, man, he's been more effective. So what a blessing that's been.
Do you think it's fair to say, real quick, if you guys don't mind, what's your most pleasant surprise? I'd say other than our boy Ryan, it has to be Nixon for me. Just the way he has performed. Who's your biggest pleasant surprise that you never thought would see?
I'd probably say Valentine.
Valentine.
Coming out of last year, he did play some outside, right? And we got a little bit of tape on him. You halfly saw him kind of where we want to put him. And then, with everything that Keyshawn, happened with Keyshawn and Ja and just having to move him around, I think it just kind of took him a sec to feel comfortable with him back outside there. And he's just, once you get your spot, it's like you're not going to give it up. You know what I mean? Like if a freshman showed up and he is just dogging on this senior and but the senior gets the first start, it's over, man. At this point, if you're going to keep playing like that and, carry yourself like that, you got to be on the field.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm with Jake and the chat. I think it's CV and it's the fact that Keyshawn's able to play on the boundary. I think that took a lot of us off guard this year for sure.
Yeah. AFAM in the chat says Sam Shields 2.0. You know who he reminds me of, and I think I told Tim this offline, or maybe it was Emilio. He reminds me of Tremont Williams, the way CB plays.
Yep.
I think Tremont was undrafted, if I remember correctly. Just one of those dudes that he doesn't have crazy athleticism. Tremont wasn't the fastest corner in the league. He didn't have the quickest, lateral agility. He didn't have the greatest vertical jump, but he always had a knack for playing his assignment, not only playing his assignment, but when there was no threat in his zone, he would go looking for work. And then he ended up being a ball hawk. And CV, man, I don't know. People, they credit him with one dropped interception, that one play where he jumps in the air, throws his right hand out, and actually just swats the ball away. It wasn't like he just dropped an interception. So to me, it seems like he's got pretty good ball skills too. I don't know. I'm excited about it for sure. Let's see here. There was something else that someone mentioned. Here we go. Drew D, is Valentine good enough to lower the priority for cornerback in the draft next year? If Jair comes back and he's on the Packers next year, right? Again, I don't see the priority at corner being on the outside. For me, it would be the slot to try to create a little more depth at the slot corner and have him compete with Javon Bullard, right? Because you want to stop this whole merry-go-round of Keyshawn having to kick into the slot constantly if Bullard goes out with an injury, right? So for me, if Ja's back next year, I want a slot corner, okay? If Ja doesn't come back next year and you're looking at Carrington Valentine on the outside with Keyshawn Nixon, I think I'm still looking at slot corner. I mean, it would take Keyshawn really, really falling off halfway through the season next year to go, man, we should have taken an outside corner. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but does that change? Does that lower the priority of cornerback in next year's draft? For me, the answer is no, because I see slot corner as different than outside corner, if that makes sense.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I still really don't mind our corners. But yeah, I would say later in the draft we could fire that up. But yeah, Valentine's played well, Keyshawn's played well. Figure out what we want to do with Ja. We still got Kate, Oladapo if he's going to come down. What's going to happen with our slot? All that is still up in the air.
Did you say KT Oladapo?
Hit it. Matter of fact, that tees it up perfect for the next comment here. Michael Redden in the chat says, one good thing about the Bears game is getting Catan Ola Home Depot all those snaps. More depth to keep Bull in the slot. Hey, it ain't been talked about enough, man. Ola Home Depot, we balled out against the Bears. It sucks that we lost, but he looked like he belonged. I don't know how you guys. To me, and I don't mean to knock on Javon Bullard, but Oladapo looks way more comfortable at safety than Javon Bullard does. I don't know how you guys feel about that. And he was one of our favorite guys in the draft. I mean,
yep.
It really was.
I think we can do it. He can help.
Instincts. Yep. Go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking we can do it and he can help.
Whereas I always say when I walk into Home Depot in 2024 last year, I walk in and go, I can do it. They can watch, because it ain't the same Home Depot it used to be. I'm seeing these young whippersnappers in there on their phone, and I'm used to seeing the 47-year-old with 3 teeth in his head that I know's done carpenter work most of his life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need that dude back. I need Uncle Bill back out there. You know what I mean? So just to kind of give a quick recap of our safety board last year, Javon Bullard was number 2 on our safety board. Catan Oladapo was number 3. And we had him completely lit up that he should be on the Packers target list. And we had only 6 players in the entire draft that met all the requirements for their specific position. Catan Oladapo was the only safety that met all the Packers requirements there. So seemed like they hit one there. I don't know why I'm surprised that he looked good last week. When you go back and listen to our draft coverage, we were all over. We loved it, dude.
Right.
All year long.
I think it was a surprise because we haven't seen him get much defensive reps this year, and for him to come out and play so solid was, definitely a silver lining, I think. But when you compare him to Bullard in the slot, I think it's just an example of, Javon Bullard's has more of a knack for the slot, and it looks like Oladapo is more comfortable back there at safety on the back end. And so this is what Halfley talked about, right? Putting guys in a position to be successful on this team. And I think that's what we're thinking with these two.
Yeah. It makes me happy that he was at least paying attention in practice and stuff, right? I mean, he's got all those special team reps and everything like that, but it's just kind of like Zane Anderson. If you're paying attention, Zane was our special teams ace. Katan's got reps there, but if you're paying attention in practice and you're, not just going through the motions, you're ready to, you're game ready all the time. And it's always next man up mentality. I think that you just have to live by it.
Yeah, definitely. Braden in the chat says, I've been hearing a lot about the Eagles starting slow all year, plus Rusty Hurts. Got to get a lead early and hold it. That's been a big talking point with Jalen Hurts missing so many games. Guys, he hasn't played since week 16 was when he got hurt, right? So his last full game was week 15. He only made it to the 9-minute mark in week 16. So he did not play pretty much in week 16, 17, and 18. So you're talking about 3 weeks that he's been sitting, right? And I don't know if there was any truth to it, but somebody was saying, I can't remember if it was in the comments or on Twitter, maybe you remember, Tim, but they were talking about how he wasn't allowed to watch film too. Is that right? Like he wasn't allowed to do certain things at the facility is what they said?
Yeah, restricted because you're still in the protocol. Yeah, I didn't know that was a rule. And I'm wondering if, maybe it's just because if you're concussed, they want to watch your exposure to the screen time and the lights and stuff with your eyes. That's the only thing I could be thinking of. But yeah, I was not aware that that's a rule.
Yeah. And Ronald in the chat, Hurts will not have thrown a pass in an NFL game in 28 days. That's wild. And I went ahead and pulled this up because we've been talking about it a lot. This is the play where he got hurt. And look, I'm not on here to go, let's watch Hurts get hurt, right? It's just to point out, like, look at the play that was specifically called. It's a design run quarterback draw, right? And this is the problem with these type of plays. You put your quarterback in harm's way, right? And you can see as well, he did not slide foot first. Everybody always talks about how he's a power running quarterback, right? So he's always lowering his head type thing. This is a better angle right here. You can see, man, he gets smacked pretty good. I'm going to bring it back for you. I want to go slow motion here for you. But, it's kind of like I can't tell if it was the linebacker hitting him from the left or him hitting the turf. I think it was a little bit of both. But that right there is what caused the injury. And obviously it was a pretty serious injury, seeing he was out for 3 weeks too.
Yeah. Can't get down fast enough leaning forward like that. I mean, you are a runner the whole time. I mean, I know Jacob likes Hurts for his legs and everything. I know that he can lift things up and put them down easy, but I'd rather him protect himself. And what's Mike Lombardi always say? Kellen Moore joystick right back there. If he would stop calling all those draw plays and putting them in harm's way, they would have had a better opportunity here at the end.
Well, and it's
you
on Hurts
can do those
slide, right? I mean, is the extra 2 yards or 3 yards you're going to lose? Is it really worth it?
Right.
That's what I was going to ask the same question. Can't they do these plays, like these option plays, and still just have the quarterback slide?
Well, in that situation, you would think he would, right? Because it's not like a short yardage thing. It's a massive gain. He already got a chunk run. Just go down, slide early, and lose those 3 or 4 yards. It's not worth it.
And you can see he's going down. But the rule is if you don't slide feet first, then they've got to treat it as if you're diving for yardage. He's free game, right? So,
and is he going to change his way in this game? Is kind of the way to look at it. Is he still going to want to fall forward this game, or is he going to want to, kind of lean back? How often are they going to call those quarterback runs? That's a chunk of their offense for sure.
That's a great point. Like, is Kellen Moore going, all right, man, let's don't call any quarterback draws. If I'm the Packers, I'm expecting him to try to scramble out of passing plays, but I would probably not be too concerned with quarterback draw calls. I can't imagine they'd be too excited.
No, maybe a read option.
Right.
You put the end in a stressful situation, go from there, but kind of give each time, and then if you need it on a third down, take it, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So again, just want to kind of refresh everybody's memory. That was the play that happened. We've got some passing plays from them. In the last game there against who was it? Yeah, again, I think it was the last full game he played in. So this would have been week 15 if you guys want to see what they were doing in the passing game. But I think we had another one here. Since we're on Hurts, let's go ahead and keep this going. Excuse me. And then we'll come back to some of the chat. So this right here, this was a 22-yarder in that game against Pittsburgh, right? And this is deep to, Calicatera, I think is the name. So,
Nailed it.
look at that, man. What was it, Jacob?
Calicatera.
Got it. All right. So here they are in an empty set. We talk about this all the time. To me, this looks like the running back down here at the bottom, probably Saquon flexed out. So they love going 11 empty. They go 11 gun and then empty it out by putting the running back out in the route. Let's see if we can pick up on what the play is here for the most part and where he's attacking the field. So that's just kind of that skinny post. Listen, that's a decent backer is reading that right there, right? That's not like it's just something that, hey, that's running butt naked. That's pretty much a bad defensive play, in my opinion, on that 22-yarder. But that's one thing we noticed looking at some of the tape is how they like to empty that out. Let's go to this one here is a 21-yarder against Pittsburgh and see what we pick up on here. Once again, empty. I think that's Saquon right there, ain't it? Looks like him. Look at those thighs on that guy. You kidding me, Jacob? Is that his thighs? You know them.
Yes, it is.
All right, so again, empty 11. They love doing this, and
Thick.
some people would go, okay, when they empty out, they're passing. Not necessarily. That's when they can run that quarterback draw, right?
Right.
Get them in 11 personnel, thinking, okay, it could be a run. Oh, nope, they spread it out. Everybody gets relaxed. It's going to be a pass, and then you run the quarterback draw. Let's see what the passing concept is here. And it's a 3-by-2. We're going 3 left, 2 right, a little drag underneath. He's off of that. Now he's going to hit the drag. So that's just all yak there. And that was blown coverage all the way, was it not?
Yep.
Yeah. Look at the.
It looked like they were bringing a blitz, but I couldn't. What are they in though?
I don't know what number 6 is doing. He's waiting.
Linebacker.
He's gone. Was that Patrick Queen? I think it was Patrick Queen.
Yes, sir.
But no, well, he was carrying the inside slot across, and then the drag came back across. He tried to open his hips.
Let's do it on loop here real quick.
He's carrying that tight end.
Yep. Supposed to, and then goes up. Crap, what? No, 6 was lost. Everybody else knew their assignment was 6.
Yeah, there we go. He was in man. Everybody else was in zone.
There you go. Yep. So, again, that's one of those plays underneath. It's just all yak, right? And it was for 21 yards on that play. I was just trying to get some of the more explosive plays here from that game. I think we may have already – it was 5 yards, 14 yards. Here we go, 21 yards. So let's see what they did on this as well. So you notice their explosive plays. Yep, here we are again, gun empty, right? So that's where all their explosive plays are coming from. You can see Saquon looks like he's lined up kind of in the wing right here this time, right? Let's see if he motions into the backfield. Now he's going to split out wide. So, yeah, that's where they're getting all their explosive plays. 11 gun empty. Once again, just a quick little 5-yard slant and turn it into it.
Can you bring that back a little bit to where he motioned out?
Yeah.
He's not even running her out. He's just dragging coverage. So we got to watch for that. Look at, he was late. He's basically decoy there. I don't think they're really looking to target him like that when they split him out wide. So something to watch for.
And that tells you that's cover one man, right?
Yep.
What you got there. So
which I hope we don't play any of at all tomorrow.
That's the other thing. Like this is like you said, Emilio, number 6, Patrick Queen looked like he was in man coverage just a second ago. So at least 2 of these plays were man coverage.
Yeah, and he's over the guard right now. Looks like he drops. It looks like he's supposed to be playing robber or maybe quarterback spy or something, and
playing hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
tough,
what it looks
man.
like.
That's what man. That's you're gonna have to call man in between, right? But it's do you want to shell over the top? Are you going to be playing inside technique? You can be playing outside technique. I really think we got to seal off. We've been getting killed on deep ends and daggers and stuff like that. I think we need to seal up the middle of the defense this week, big time. I would feel a lot better if they beat us numbers and out rather than numbers and in.
Emilio said we gotta fill in with man in between. And me and Tim said, no, you don't. No, you don't. For the love of God, please don't worry about that, man. No, but yeah, I think playing single high is the way to go. I just want to see a lot of cover 3 and cover 2 disguise. Stay away from man. And the reason that Pittsburgh's in this defense is to stop the run, right? And they got 11 personnel, so you got to honor the fact that they can come out in 11 and run the rock at you. And I was actually looking at some of the numbers earlier today, and they love 11 personnel. That's the majority of what they run. So just wanted to kind of give you guys a highlight of or a couple highlights of some of their bigger plays there in the passing game. One thing that we uncover, obviously, they love to go 11 gun empty. That's their thing. So matter of fact, we've got that personnel chart here. If you guys want to dive into that, I see we got some chats marked. Let's hit them first. Professor Cakes, Musgrave, Tuddy, tomorrow. I'm calling it here, folks. Save the receipt. Screenshot it, boys. Professor Cakes going to come back in here for his cookie when he gets this.
Musgrave stayed on his feet.
It's going to be a seam or a wheel, or cross-field dragon wheel.
There you go. I'd love to see it, man. I'd love to see Musgrave just bust out. That would be absolutely awesome. Cody in the chat. Screens and tight end leaks have killed us on big downs in every other big game, so that's what I'm expecting. So maybe they're watching the tape and scouting out the fact that we're a little bit, a little bit vulnerable to the leak plays. Cody also says you over-prepared for underneath shots like that on big downs, and then they hit you over the top, though, so it's like a double-edged sword. That's the thing I'm not concerned about is them hitting us over the top. And the only reason they hit us over the top the first time is really, really simple. It's because Jair bid on a double move and cover one man. If you stay in cover 3, cover 6, cover 7, mix in some 9 if you want to get really creative and try to confuse Jalen Hurts, stay away from man coverage, I don't worry about the explosives over the top. It's going to be stopping Saquon, which that kind of plays pretty much into our hands. So I really, man, the closer we get to the game, I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling like comfortable. I'm feeling like, you know what? We got a legit shot to win this ball game. I believe it.
I agree.
I'm feeling as comfortable as Carly Ray in that little Afghan she just threw on right there. What's going on?
She's got a Packers hoodie.
Sure do.
Surely it ain't cold up there in Wisconsin.
No, not at all.
She looks like a Packers nun. Hold on. Let's see.
Yes.
Oh my God. All right.
Lord.
Let's see. Here is the chart for personnel. All right. Let me throw this up real quick so everybody can see it. Hopefully we can zoom in. So this is the Philadelphia Eagles offensive chart. They're in 11 personnel 60% of the time. They go to 12 personnel 29.4% of the time. And they're in 12 personnel with a star. I'm not sure what the star is representing there. I don't see any explanation of what the star means. I guess they just wanted to throw that out there. But anyway, they're in 12, 29.4% of the time. So the most important thing here is 11 most of the time, which we see they'll come out in 11. They'll empty it out. I wonder if they run a lot out of 12. You could probably look here and look at the rush rate and pass rate as well. But really what it comes down to is that 60% of the time, they run that 14th most in the league. Their EPA ranking is 3rd in the league in 11 personnel. Their EPA ranking in 12 personnel is 8th best in the league, and they run that at the 7th most rate there. Emilio, anything stick out to you on this chart here, man, that you want to hit on? Anything at all that I might be overlooking?
The only plus would be 12 heavy. You know, if they got maybe a heavy set or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's 11 and 12, we're going to be in nickel a lot. If we can get in our base for those 12 personnels and handle Saquon, I think that would be big. But besides that, I think we're just going to be floating between nickel and dime, depending on how these wide receivers are, working. But I think that's where we want them. I think that's where we want to have them beat us. Like I said, we can keep Saquon under 100, ideally under 150 total. If we can slow them down in the first half, get a lead. I think we'd be in good shape. There was one stat here. It was said Green Bay has outscored its opponents 58-17 in its final 7 games in the first quarter. As well, Packers have scored 118 points, 3rd most in the NFL in the first quarter this season. So that's going to be big for our offense. We got to get out there, and then we can maybe slow down that run of the Eagles.
Got it. Good stuff. Jacob, Tim, you guys got anything to add? Carly, anything at all to add to these personnel?
Co-signing Emilio 100%. We're going to nickel and dime them to death, basically, is what I think is going to happen. I think it's really true. And we know they like to run the ball a lot. And, I think we need to be prepared for the heavy sets for sure.
Yeah, I guess I would just be interested in how we're going to use our linebackers against the 11 and the 12 personnel, and which linebacker is going to have what assignment. If Quay is going to be back, how back is he? What do they expect from him? Is he the green dot? What's Cooper going to do in that situation? Then does he get scrapped? Do we see randomly McDuffie there for whatever reason? Also, we have a super chat from Chris C, which is just kind of, he says, "Is that music, Mary?" I think he's talking about Carly there, but
talking about Carly, yeah. Because somebody said that Sister Carly is what Mike Berry said.
How dare you?
And Chris C said, "Is that music, Mary?" There you go.
Jacob, to your run, the Green Bay's run defense, another stat for you. We rank 7th in the NFL right in run defense, allowing 99.4 per game. So under 100 a game, love that. With our defense allowing a total of 314.5 yards per game and only 19.9 points per game. I really feel if we can keep them under 25, I think we got a real good shot. Obviously, they scored 34 last time. But this defense has played well. I think the run defense needs to play solid in the first half, and we can force them into passing in the second. If Saquon runs for 200 yards and they only score 16 points because we hold them to field goals and tighten up in the red zone, hey, sign me up. That's a great game for the defense. I'll take it.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Cody in the chat, we're really needing Evan Williams and Quay to be back for this one. Amen to that, too. I think that would be absolutely huge. Really want to see what this team can do against one of the best teams in the league. And obviously this is a different Packers defense than it was in week 1, with Cooper kind of emerging as one of the top backers in the league. He got, if I remember correctly, he got 1 All-Pro vote, which is, people just laugh at that, I'm sure. I think it's awesome. It's like, you mean somebody voted for Cooper as an All-Pro linebacker rookie year, guys? That's huge. It really is. He's even in the conversation. So you get Quay back alongside him, get Evan Williams at safety. That way Bull can just stay in the slot. And then, of course, you got Katano Oladapo to fill in if somebody needs a breather. I really like our chances of both those guys can play, man. So go. There you go. Joseph says keep Coop in every snap. I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it, but I understand why they don't. Obviously, if they're not comfortable with him wearing the green dot yet, but he did play the majority of the snaps last week, right? So they found a way to work around him not wearing the green dot. But yeah, he's the real deal for sure. So, anything else anybody else wants to hit on before we?
Would you rather have Saquon beat you out, tight end and out, or wide 9 and out, or would you rather have him beat you through the tackles, or I'm sorry, guards and in?
I would rather have him not beat us.
Oh, I know that, Carly. I'm saying
other one.
Clayton, you're a 90s basketball guy, right? This is like teams trying to guard Michael Jordan, and they're like, well, Mike's going to get 50 points, so
he's going to score 50.
Yeah. Would you rather him score the 50 points in between the guards and forward, or outside, the ends or tight ends and out?
I'd rather lose the battle outside than lose the trenches.
I like that. That's where I was going to say. Because it's not like it looks like he's had 50 each side probably on the outside end attempts in the year. So 100 of his attempts have come outside the tackles for Saquon. And he's making, going outside left end, he's at 8.4 yards a clip. So jeez. I would really like to contain him, outside in. Then you got to have Quay fill those gaps, which he's gotten a lot better at, and Coop just shoot the shot. So I think that's where we got to be.
Yeah. For me, it's if I was on the coaching staff, I would look and go, okay, where has the majority of his explosive runs came from? Are they outside the tackles or are they inside the tackles? Whichever that is, that's what I'm keen in on trying to stop. Because if it's 2 less explosives than the opposite, right, then to me it's going to be worth it.
Right.
Because, again, explosive plays it's the most important aspect of playing offense and defense, man, both sides. So it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Mike Hebring with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Says, I'm not at all scared of Barkley. It's their O-line. All righty.
Yeah.
I respect you, Mike. I respect you. But, their O-line's good. But when you see a running back do a reverse hurdle, and this game has been played for over 100 years and no one's ever did it, he's doing some amazing things. I think the credit probably pretty even across the board, though. Let's put it this way. You put Josh Jacobs behind that old line, I don't know if he rushes for 2,000 yards, but he comes damn close, right? Yeah. If you put Saquon Barkley behind the Packers offensive line, I think Barkley's probably rushing somewhere between 13 and 1,500, you know? I think they're fairly close to each other, but the only difference is Saquon Barkley has that top end speed. He has runaway speed, as where Josh Jacobs, we've seen it all year long. He's an amazing back, but he's gotten caught from behind many times, right? That's not his specialty. Isn't the breakaway speed. It's the stiff arming people into oblivion, and that tight quarters agility is just amazing to Josh Jacobs. So that's the difference there. I would give more credit, and it's kind of the way I'm taking this super chat. I'm giving more credit to Barkley than I am the O-line. That's just me personally. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, if you got a comment on it or not. So
no, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, you can compliment both, right? The Eagles clearly have a great O-line, but you can't downplay the significance of Saquon. I mean, we can look at New York Giant tape of Saquon destroying people, and that O-line was horrendous. So, you can't overshadow the talent. Yeah, but I'm also with Mike. You don't want to fear your opponent. You respect your opponent, but we're not going to be afraid of anybody. You just don't want to take him for granted, right? He's going to have to go out there and earn it, and we got to make it as difficult as we can on him.
I don't think anybody on that coaching staff's taking it for granted either, man. I really don't. I think everybody's on their A game. It's just a matter of going out there and executing. You know what they do well. They know what we do well. You just got to go out there and play. Mike Hebring says, look at their offensive line PFF grades. It's insane. Yep. They are, Mike, but at the same time, I would love to go behind the scenes and see each individual play grade for the offensive line for PFF, because the Packers have had a great running game the last however many years, and they always grade out horrible according to PFF with run blocking. And it just makes no sense to me. Like we'll show play after play after play of these guys just mauling people, right? And so I don't put a whole lot of stock in PFF's offensive line grades for that very reason. Maybe I'm off my rocker here, but I just don't understand it. I don't understand how you can have so many backs that are so effective in Green Bay. I mean, look at Emmanuel Wilson, right? Emmanuel Wilson averaging all that yardage. All of a sudden, Emmanuel Wilson's a top 10 running back, but the Packers' offensive line sucks. That just doesn't make sense to me,
Right.
So, yeah. Like Joseph said.
102 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4.9 yards a carry.
Who's that?
Emmanuel.
That's a good stat. That's a great stat.
And how many times have
right here?
how many times have you seen Emmanuel Wilson too, man? There's many times that he's running between the tackles and taking what the defense is giving him, but there's also those times where he kind of gets to the line and goes, I'm just going to take it way out here.
Yep.
Right? We've seen it that last game, obviously with the go-ahead score. But I believe it was the go-ahead score, if I remember correctly. So, all right. Anything else y'all got? Anything at all? Tim, we still haven't got to the PFF insights yet.
I know. I was just going to say, do you want to
or the fantasy results?
Carly, hit us with the fantasy results. We'll wrap up with that. Tim, we'll hit on Good Morning Lambeau in the morning. We'll hit the PFF insights. I promise we'll do it. Right?
So 3 shows tomorrow for sure?
3 shows. That's what we're going to do tomorrow.
Let's get it.
Hey, one quick question, and
no.
You're totally unprepared for this. So I know. No, I'm dropping this on you. So if you don't have an answer for it, but what's the red zone efficiency for the Eagles? Like that's what I really want to see. When we get in the red zone, I want us to score points.
The Eagles offense had a touchdown percentage of 57.4, Carly. Let's see, and Fangio's defense had him tied for 5th at 50%. Where were we? Our defense was 20th at 60%, I think are the numbers. So I mean that's going to be really where this game is decided. If we can have them go 1-4 in the red zone, or 2 for 4, 2 for 5, something like that, I think we have a real good chance of winning this game. If they go 5 for 5 in the red zone, it is going to be a long day.
I agree.
I want us to go 5 for 5 in the red zone. I don't care what they do. We want to go 5 for 5.
Oh, for sure. Oh, 100%. We get a turnover. We got to make, we got to capitalize on it. It's just got to happen.
I see we lost Jacob. He must be late for a tattoo appointment. I think he's got a. He's got
Yes,
a
does he have to get it? Did we finish with that Bears game? I didn't even see. Did we finish in the top 7 for scoring defense?
Carla, we finished 6th.
Yeah, I don't know where my canvas went.
I am 20 minutes from Jacob. We can have a party for him, get him a little happy. I will take him to his tattoo appointment. I will drive him there so he doesn't have to drive on that butt cheek on the way home.
Wow.
Don't put that name in my mouth right there.
Where did my canvas go, man? I haven't even got to see the design yet.
Edit D's. How about that?
So you asked about red zone efficiency. Emilio, you may have hit on it already. I
don't know if they were right. I was just shooting out numbers to sound smart.
So they weren't even accurate?
Oh, no, they were. They were from a news article, but I just hope the article was right.
Got it. Could have been fake news.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is NFL team red zone scoring percentage, touchdowns only. Okay, touchdowns only. Green Bay is 10th at 59.4%. Philadelphia is 12th at 58%. So pretty close there on touchdowns only.
Okay, yeah,
I did not see anywhere in here overall points, right? You just got touchdowns only, scoring attempts per game. So yeah, I didn't see anything in that regard. Yeah. So that's all we got to go off of. So the Packers are slightly better, Carly, in the red zone than the Eagles are, but the Eagles are still borderline top 10, right there around the 12 spot. So
yeah, see, in the news article, they didn't mention ours being above them. They did have the Eagles at 57.4, but they conveniently left out that the Packers were 59. You know what I'm saying?
Funny how that works, right? That's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. All right, Carly, give us the fantasy update here. I know we kind of hit on it earlier. I think it was today, but let's fill us in here.
Yeah. So in first place, I decided for next year some changes. We got to have a spreadsheet or something, people's real names, because I feel real dumb reading like screen names and the team names out here.
You mean like nose candy or what? What are we talking about?
Yeah, Kristen's nose candy. That was definitely a highlight.
That's terrible.
We're gonna make a prize, a money prize next year for the best, most innovative team name. So anyway, first place we got Hunka Hunka Burnin' Love.
Nice.
With 2,726 points. Second place, very narrowly missing Numbskulls with 2,591. Then Trevor from Virginia, 2,591. Also just missed it by, they missed in the playoff rounds in the finals, but missed by like 0.1 points as far as point totals. And then
Playoffs?
No, fourth place. So what's really cool is first, second, third, and fourth place. Even though we had reseeding for the playoffs, they were all 11 and 4 at the end of the season. So that was really cool. Like all the people that placed 1 through 4, and they all won money. And then CJN also won for just getting the most points overall. He won his money back as well. So it was a lot of fun. And for those waiting on your money, it's Yahoo. So I heard it takes a few weeks, but they will pay it out. It's a little bit of a hassle, I think, as all those are, but if people have different platforms that they want to try for next year, whatever, totally open to suggestions. It was a lot of fun.
As Stewie said, "Where's my money, man?
Where's my money?"
That's what happens, man. That's what happens. No, it's awesome. And again, the buy-in, was it $20? Is that right, Carly? Am I thinking right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think you did a great job. That was your first time running the league. Got great feedback from the guys. I think it was great. We'll do at least one next year. We might have enough people to do 2 next year, and we'll get someone else to run the second one, so you ain't got to deal with all those numbnuts in there. It's off the rails. I know what you have to put up with in there, I'm sure. So
no, they were all great. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun, and I learned too. I'm always up for learning and stuff, and yeah, it was great.
Awesome, good stuff. All right, Emilio, Tim, y'all got anything else, man? Oh, I forgot about that. Hold up a second.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
We got. Oh yeah, that thing up there.
Oh,
right.
Yes.
This thing.
Yes. Scan. Look at Amelia. Scan the QR code in the upper right to join our Patreon group. That was where the fantasy league was at. Awesome community we're creating in there. Also, by midnight tonight, if you want to be entered into the giveaway, we're giving away an autographed picture.
For you, AFAM. AFAM was asking about what it costs to be a member, and he said that he wasn't sure why he didn't get an AFAM deal, but AFAM, you get signed up, you could still win it. You got to get signed up by the night, though, bub.
AFAM, your special price is going to be $49.99. Now we're going to be giving away an autographed picture of Carl Brooks blocking the field goal against the Bears back in November.
I really want that.
Block on it, really cool piece of memorabilia that was donated by Trevor Anderson. Appreciate him doing that. And as long as you're a member of one of the 3 tiers, you can be in the cheapest tier. That'll get you entered in that contest, as well as being a member here on YouTube. We'll do the same thing. People ask, which should I do? Should I be a YouTube member or should I be in the Patreon group? I feel like it's more valuable being the Patreon group because we got access to the chat. You can have your questions read on the show. A lot of cool things that we do there. So
you can message at any time off the app. You don't have to just be sitting in a live chat, waiting for a show to pop up and everything like that.
Bingo. You want to cuss me out? You can do it right there in the chat. You ain't gotta wait
let them have it. Yeah.
That's a price we're willing to pay.
I'm thinking about changing my name to try to win that autograph. If I could just change my name in there and change a picture, I think I could get away with it.
I don't think you can, Amelia. That is called fraudulent, sir. All right. Chris
we don't give him some
Malik Keith Truther says, what about the fantasy loser, Carly Ray? Who is it? You want to shout him out real quick?
Yes, very narrowly. Dane Stromstad lost to me by about 3 points, saving me from this shame. So I sent him a message, and I'm hoping he accepts his punishment here.
All right.
on my knee.
Dane, if you don't want to do it, totally cool. But I think what we decided on, Carly, right, was I've got an autographed Devondre Campbell jersey that I will send you for free. Okay, that's your consolation prize. And you have to record a video of you wearing that jersey or holding that jersey up, and you gotta come across sincere, and you got to put a tweet out saying that Devondre Campbell was mistreated by the Packers fan base,
right?
Just to get everybody coming at him.
And then go into a supermarket and take it off and say I quit and walk out.
If he turns it down, I will do it.
No,
that would be even funnier.
I'm pretty sure that jersey is actually the 50s throwback, though, right? It's the Beckett style, what have you. So it's not like the game worn, but it is embroidered and everything. It's a pretty clean jersey. Who's wearing 59 now? Hopper, right?
Yeah.
So you can actually, what you can do is, as long as nobody sees the back of the jersey, sport that thing around and look like you get a Tyron Hopper jersey on. But if you're going to do this thing, the video, you have to specify that you are a Devondre Campbell supporter.
Truther.
And again, the Packers mistreated him. Okay.
I hold up a can of Campbell's chicken soup.
Campbell's chicken soup, is that what you said?
With it, yes.
All right, that'll work too. All right. Why can't AFAM be the one that lost the league? Make him rules. So, all right. Anything else we got here? This show sucks. What are we doing with our life here?
Nothing, man. One more sleep, baby. Let's go. If you're not excited for this as a Packers fan, I don't know why. I don't know why you're a fan, right? Just watch the rest of the games and leave ours out, man. This is exciting. Like Kenny was saying in his interview, it's hard to get here. Obviously, we take it for granted sometimes, but it's hard to get into the playoffs, and now it's time to do something with it. 1 year older, that what happened last year. You can't, carry any of that. I mean, you can carry some of the lessons learned, but you can't carry any of the play or anything like that over. Starting off 0-0 right now. Just got to win one and move forward.
So true, because you know what? I think this year has proven just how hard it is to win in this league. It's hard to win in the NFL. And, we're the 7th seed wild card, but hey, we got 2 more wins this year. So there's been progress for this team. And there's no reason that we can't line it up tomorrow and give the Eagles a run for their money.
Nothing. Cody in the chat says Carly Beard needs a comeback when we win tomorrow. So if we win tomorrow, Carly, you got to wear the beard in here the postgame show. And also, I was thinking for the tattoo on Jacob's left butt cheek, what if we did a picture of Dane Stromstad wearing a Devondre Campbell jersey? That would be absolutely awesome. Right? What do you think, Tim?
Man.
I don't want to pat you on
that's
the butt.
it. We're out of here.
Poop my hands. So
again, special thanks to Chris C. and Mike Hebring for the super chats tonight. Everybody, make sure you're a member on YouTube or make sure you're a member of our Patreon group so you get entered into that giveaway for the autographed picture of Carl Brooks. Everybody, thank you for your time. This was fun. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Me and Tim will be up here at 8:30 Central Time doing a Good Morning Lambeau episode. We're going to talk Packers-Eagles. We'll also be doing a pregame show roughly an hour and a half before kickoff. and we'll be doing a post-game show, win, lose, or draw, immediately following the game. Everybody have a great night. Appreciate y'all. Go Pack, go.
And we go.
Bye, guys.